again, look, I'm going to give you the end game. I'm going to give you the end game. Now, I'm not going to give you the ending by ending plays because that depends on you. It depends on which hook you have in your mouth as to which point they're going to pull you out of a stream and slap you on a dinner plate and consume you. They're going to pull you out of that stream of life and slap you on a dinner plate for consumption. Make no mistake about it. Now you get these hooks in your mouth through your emotions. You get pulled into it and they'll tug you along. But regardless, I don't care about that. But I want you to see that you can come out of this stuff. Now why am I doing this? Why have family, friends, acquaintances, people at church, people I watch scripture with, are all getting sucked into psyops. Which psyops? Well, all of them. But this one here with the $1 billion Christian seems to be sucking y'all in harder than normal. Now, why am I calling him a $1 billion Christian? That's not really fair. He's only got $500 million, but $1 billion just sounds better. But this fellow will tell you and show you that he's a Freemason. This one over here even makes the comment that she's a Mason of Turning Point. That's odd. She says that because she's supposed to be a woman. Now, she would be a rainbow girl or an Eastern Star witch, not a Mason. So I wonder, if she's actually a woman, especially since she has got an anti-defamation lawsuit against another tranny over in France. So, yeah, it'd be fun to see how that plays out, just for entertainment. But regardless, let me get back to this. Show you how this is all scripted and where it's all going. Now, I had a person from a church I go to tell me that they believe that this man, Donald Trump, was put into power in the United States by God in heaven in order to bring the country closer to Christ. That can be anywhere further from the truth. Donald Trump is actually a Jew, and he came out in 2017 and said he was. Now, it doesn't take a lot to scratch in the dirt to figure out, yeah, indeed, he's Jewish, because all of his kids married into Jews. They married Jews themselves into Jewish families. You don't do that if you're a Goy or a Christian. Now, what kind of Jew is Donald Trump? Well, he's a Kabbalic Jew. You see here, Kabbalah is the system of the Jewish mysticism. They're all Kabbalic Jews. And you got people like Theodore Herschel who is saying, I'm going to summarize this. Now, he does call y'all pig masons. Said the pig mason will never understand the end game of the Mason, the Masons, because they're not Jews. They won't understand it. You have to be a Jew Mason. You have to be up there in ranks you have to be converted over to Jewish mysticism or Kabbalah in order to understand the end game. Otherwise, they call you pigs. They don't even respect their own, the Blue Lodgers. They don't respect them. So what is the end game? The end game is to get everybody involved with Lucifer. They want the Christians gone, the atheists gone. Now, this is in that Albert Pike letter to Mazzini, and it's not that hard to find, but they want the Christians and atheists gone, and they want everyone left in this realm to be Luciferian worshippers. That's the end game. Now, they got everything in play for that, like Noahide laws and so forth. So this man here is a Mason. He's a Kabbalic Jew Mason. Now, why would I say such a thing? Well, he don't say he's a Mason, no, but he does all the Masonic things. He does Masonic things. Even with Pence over here doing Masonic things. And everybody's like, well, he couldn't do nothing because of Pence before, but now he's got this other guy and J.D. Vance is a Pilgrim Society member. You have to be a certain rank in Freemasonry to be a part of those other societies, like Shriners or Skull and Bones. You have to be so high in the ranks in order to be a part of that membership. Remember what Carlin said, George Carlin? It's a big club and you ain't in it. Now, here's another thing. He is a Mason. Look at this handshake. Who shakes hands like this? Who shakes hands like this? Who does this? Who makes a handshake like this? What Freemasons do when they want to say, hey, brother, how you doing? This is how they do it. Now, is this man a Freemason? Well, I'd say all 7 of the Joe Bidens are Masons. Here he is with a Master Lodge member, taking pictures. Why is he doing that? That's because he's a Freemason. He's a Freemason. Here's another handshake of Trump, another Masonic shake. Everybody's like, oh, look at his handshakes. They're so powerful. Yeah, right. They're letting you know who they are and where they're at. Here's another Masonic handshake. Now, this man is definitely a Mason. I mean, they even show you and tell you. Got all these people over here throwing up this little symbol, this Masonic symbol. And over in Europe, they don't do it so much here, but they'll cross their arms in front of their chest and do this great big old long chain handshake. That's also a Masonic rite or ritual. Here's another thing. I don't know about this with the red gown. I can't say that's a Masonic thing, so, overlook this. But this picture is important because here he has the Tree of Life. He has the Kabbalic Tree of Life. So he's definitely a Mason, and he's a high-ranking Mason. He's a Kabbalic Jew Mason. Now they want you, here's another one. Here's the crest he had. Now does this look like the crest of the United States? No, but it looks like the Scottish Rite symbol. Looks like that. This actually looks like the 32nd degree with the necks stretched out. But regardless, make no mistake about it. It's a Scottish Rite symbol. You can argue with me if it's a 32 or a 33. It don't matter. It's still a Scottish Rite symbol. Now remember when they had this man over here and they said he's a Christian, and they threw all this crap out? You remember this where you had all these preachers from different denominations and they had this Eastern Star witch, this Paula White, over here laying hands, which is another ritual. That's another Masonic ritual that they're doing. And they had all these people doing this stuff, and y'all couldn't see he wasn't a fake Christian then. They just threw it in your face. They're like, look how stupid y'all are. And then even when he was Protestant, when Trump said he was a Protestant, he had this Protestant preacher here, this Norman Vincent Peale, who was also Trump's mentor. Now who is he? Who's this Protestant guy? Hey, guess what? He's also a Freemason. Funny how this all works together, isn't it? Now, with these hooks they get in your mouth, these emotional hooks that they pull you out of the stream of life and throw you on a dinner plate for consumption, you see it play out, like right here with Jimmy Kimmel. Poor Jimmy got canceled. Oh my goodness, we're losing our freedom of speech. We need to do something. Well, it's all a show, folk. It's all a show. Jimmy Kimmel, where do you think he films his little show at? Inside of a Masonic temple. They rubbing it in your faces, and y'all can't see it. So they control all the narratives. They control both sides of the narratives. And this has been going on for quite some time. I mean, even when they had the anti-Masonic party in 1822, people were like, oh my gosh, we need to make sure these Masons don't take control when they're taking us places we don't like. They form an anti-Masonic party, or they wanted to form a party. Guess what got formed? Anti-Masonic party. And guess who it was formed by? A Freemason. And Freemasons controlled it. It's what they call controlled opposition. And you see this all over the place. Now that said, who do you trust? Where can you get your news at? Well, you got people like Joe Rogan. You can't trust people are seeing that you can't trust your mainstream media. So they're going to alternative. And they will give you the news that they want you to consume to get these hooks in your mouth. You got Joe Rogan. This is not his platform, because his platform has millions of people on it. But I don't even think he's on Rumble. I know he's on Spotify. I couldn't pull that up. But this is what he has. This is what he has on his YouTube and all that. He has the all-seeing eye. This is the Joe Rogan symbol right here. This all-seeing eye. They tell you who they are. Now, he'll tell you what's going on, but he'll tell you too late. He'll tell you at the tail end. And they have to tell you because that law of consent. They'll tell you when it's too late. Now, he has people on there, doctors and scientists, saying that the clot shot thing, Wuhan thing, It's dangerous. Why didn't this man have that on there in the beginning? Why didn't he have him on there in the beginning? Because they want to tell you at the tail end when it was too late. Then you also have this guy, this Ian Carroll. A lot of y'all follow him. You look at all the subs he's got, and that's only on this platform. And they also tell you who they are. Look at this. You think you could trust him? Look at this symbol here. It's a stylized one of these across a Leviathan. It's across a Leviathan. And if you read your Bible and you know the book of Job, who is Leviathan? Well, he's the father of lies. So why is that man got that symbol on his podcast, on his channel? Why is it? Because, yeah, he'll tell you the truth. It's too late. He'll tell you too late. And then other stuff they'll tell you, him and Joe Rogan, is to get hooks in your mouth, to get you emotionally invested in this stuff. Now, they're not the only ones. They're the ones that's got huge platforms. And they're not only the only ones that do it. Now, because they know some people are smart enough to where they're like, hey, yeah, this guy's so huge, so I can't trust him, so let me go to a smaller channel. So you'll stumble across channels like this. Call for an uprising. This man's also a Freemason. You can see it right here. And they will tell you stuff that's happening. Now, these people want to tell you that, oh, yeah, I've got canceled like 90 times, but their channels grow exponentially. He has got a thing on YouTube, Hive Mind now. It's only been on there a week, and it's got over 12,000 followers. How's that happen? They want people to see it. Now, if this one scares you away, they also have smaller ones. Hey, remember this one, Tamara Magdalene? She wanted you to believe that she was a lowly little mental health worker, but she put out this video content that rivaled Hollywood. How did she do that? Well, that content was fed to her. They gave her the content to put out. She was what they call an Eastern Star witch. That's what she is. And then she comes out and she's like, I'm a Christian. I love Christ. I'm a Christian. And the next thing you know, she gets, here comes all these videos and pictures of her doing porn. And then she gets caught in this big lie about this guy, this big famous guy, supposed to be her husband, all this stuff. Yeah, they spit in your face. They tell you they're Christian, then they turn around and spit in your face. But she'll tell you what's going on. She'll tell you, but you can't put your emotions in it. And realize that this is a witch. She's an Eastern Star witch. You got other people who will tell you stuff. And they use them in different ways. You got David Icke. You got Alex Jones. You got Bill Cooper. They'll tell you what's going on, but they make them sound like nut jobs. You go and you tell somebody, hey, did you hear about, where the Freemasons are doing this, that, and other? Where did you hear it from? Bill Cooper? Yeah, Bill Cooper. Where'd you hear it from? David Icke? Yeah, aliens going to get me too. So it's to discredit what they put out. They'll tell you, but then they'll discredit it. Then you got people who like Alex Jones, who is a gatekeeper. And he's also a Freemason. He'll tell you his dad worked for the CIA. If your parents work for CIA, guess what? You automatically work for CIA. And he'll also tell you that he's got family aprons. They got family aprons. He's a Mason. So you got this Mason over here telling you stuff. Now, you remember Alex Jones came out with that Bohemian Grove stuff? He broke the story right before a legitimate investigator broke it. Why? Because, hey, they'd rather have this nut job tell you that world leaders are coming out to the forest to have an open-air orgy and to worship Baal and sacrifice people. They'd rather have this nut job tell you than somebody legitimate. Because you'd be, Bohemian Grove? Yeah, right. Yeah, you watch Jones? So they discredit. Anybody that quotes them is discredited, even though they tell you the truth. You also have people like this who's involved with people like this. Now you got Stu Peters over here. He's going to tell you the end game. He's got that emotional hook in your mouth. Because he's going to tell you about this pre-tribulation game plan and script that they got for you. They want you to follow. Then you got this fella, like this Nick Fuentes. How does he get so big spewing the spit he does? He even tells you he's a Freemason. On one of the super chats, he asked a fella asked him rather, you gone to debate Charlie Kirk? This about 2 weeks before he supposedly was pewed. And he said, well, yeah, I don't know much about him. I just know he's a fellow traveler. Well, guess what? That's Freemason talk. That's Freemason talk. Let you know that they're both Freemasons. And also with this, if you notice with this man, Alex Jones, Stu Peters, and Nick Fuentes, they keep you caught in this right-left narrative, Democrat-Republican narrative. They want you involved in it. There is no Democrat-Republican narrative. Like I said, some of y'all going to be in oppression, having a boot on the back of your neck, and you're going to be worried if it's a right boot or a left boot. Those parties don't exist. That's just something to get you emotionally attached to it, like a football game. I hope my team wins this time. It's just horse crap. It's just a way to control you. And these people make sure that you keep in the narrative. You keep in that right left. And this is another one, Steven Crowder. He keeps you involved in that right left narrative as well. And you got this guy over here who's a CEO, keeps you involved with that narrative with Alex Jones. Him and Alex Jones had a thing talking about the Freemason view of the rapture and about how that's true. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's all crap. They got you suckered in. They got you like an all-day sucker. Sweetest thing. Then you got people like the Quarter. You don't know how this guy gets big. Because he's over here, it's all he does. And he just spits out stuff that people's already commenting on. But he keeps you involved in a right-left narrative. Now, is this guy a Freemason? I don't know. He could very well be just an organic guy who was brought up to believe this narrative. Could be. But the thing is, if they spit out the same thing, the same narrative, you know, they got a hook in their mouth, and you have to be careful with watching them. Tim Pool is another one. Does the right-left narrative. Now, he's been pushing Civil War, so I'm going to say something fishy with Tim Pool, especially since he went to Israel and all that nonsense. These people as well are pushing the right-left narrative. Are they Freemasons? I don't know. I don't know. And, you know, I try to only tell you stuff that you can figure out on your own or know positively. So I don't know if these people are Freemasons, but I do know they're spitting out the same right-left narrative to keep you sucked right into that stuff. Now, there are some people that you think you can believe. Like, here's one, this Jimmy Dore. You think you can trust Jimmy Dore. You know, and I really thought I could trust him because the day after the Charlie Cook thing, they pointed out that the White House released AI-generated video of Trump. But after that, they don't put out anything about how suspicious the video looks about the billion-dollar Christian. No, instead, they put out this other stuff. They keep you involved in the narrative. No one's buying this FBI stuff. And then they're telling you, well, Israel, Charlie opposed Israel. So they're trying to keep you involved with the narrative. So you can't really trust them. Anybody who gets big, you can't trust them. They'll tell you the truth, but then they'll put a hook in your mouth and keep you out of that water of life. That's what they'll do. And then you got other people like George Carlin. It's a big club and you ain't in it? Well, he's a truth teller. He'll tell you. But since he's a comedian, nobody's taking him seriously. You got people like Robert Blitzer, also a truth teller. He'll tell you about stuff, what's going on. Even this guy, Gallagher, will tell you. But Gallagher will keep you involved in that left-right narrative. This man will keep you involved in the left-right narrative. This one actually told you it's a big club. And then you got people like Ben Stein, who wrote speeches for presidents, Republican presidents. He's going to tell you there's a right-left narrative. He'll tell you a little bit of truth here and there. Dennis Miller's another one, right-left comedy with political comedy. And then Jon Stewart over here on the left-hand side, keeping you in that left-right narrative. And then you got Alex Jones again involved. Well, it's Bill Hicks, sorry. It's Bill Hicks. But you tell me that's not Alex Jones. I knew about that before anybody even put a video out. I watched comedy for, I was going to be a comedic writer when I was younger, and I was really involved in this stuff. Bill Hicks supposedly died of leukemia, and the next thing you know, here you got Alex Jones coming out. I was on college campus, and I was watching Alex Jones. I, hey, cool, you got Bill Hicks on. Who's Bill Hicks? This is Alex Jones. But even with Bill Hicks, they'll show you. They'll tell you. They'll tell you who he is. He's got the butterfly on right there in this picture. He was that character was a sacrifice. But they'll tell you. They'll tell you. Like right here, they'll show you. They'll show you who they are. They put out the stuff. They'll show you. And even now, talking about Alex Jones and Hicks, if you type up young Alex Jones, this is what they show you. Does this look like young Alex Jones? No. But they'll give you this picture. Yeah, and then they'll give you this one, where it looks like they're mocking us. You want to see a young Alex Jones? So yeah, you got to be mindful of this stuff. You need to take your emotions out of it. You cannot be led by a hook. You need to get them hooks out of your jaws. You're being led to Babylon with these emotional hooks. So anyway, folks, I just want to point that out. That's the end game. The end game is to get Christians and atheists gone. Everybody left in this realm is going to be Luciferian worshipers, Masons, and their subsidiaries rule everything. They control everything. They'll tell you the truth, but you got to be careful, and you can't get your emotions involved in it. Anyway, folks, I want to point that out. And as always, please read that scripture and have a fantastic day.